Hi, this is Gail, and I want to talk about a very serious subject today: why ignoring God's commands is damaging families. An increasing number of adult children are marginalizing and cutting off their aging parents. Secular psychology and compromised Christian psychology often promote this trend by calling it boundaries or self care, which actually just means estrangement and selfishness. However, even secular sources are beginning to recognize what they call grandparent alienation. Here's a quote from one of those secular sources: "Grandparent alienation is a type of elder abuse when grandparents are unreasonably denied meaningful opportunities to have a relationship and spend time with their grandchildren." It's sad to see that adult children, instead of honoring their parents, are often punishing their parents. God could not be clearer about honoring our parents. Exodus 20, verse 12, and Ephesians 6, 1 through 3 command it, and they emphasize it by saying a promise is attached. During Old Testament times, we can look at Exodus 21, 15 and 17, Leviticus 20, verse 9, Deuteronomy 21, 18 through 21. These verses actually called for the death of a child who attacked or cursed their parents. Now, when we look at these Old Testament commands, we're glad that they're no longer enforced. They were enforced for a time and purpose to help Israel not become like the pagan nations around them. And that's how serious God took this. And even though we're no longer to put to death those who curse their parents, we are to honor the principle. And it shows us how serious God is about that principle. Deuteronomy 5:16, 27:16, and Leviticus 19:3 further stress honoring parents in the Old Testament. And there's a list of proverbs that strongly rebuke those who curse or scorn or rob from their parents. If you go to the description of this devotion, you will find of this video, you will find the link to the online devotion, and it will give you all of those scriptures that I'm just going to tell you they're in Proverbs, so look them up. Romans 1, 28 through 32, and 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 3 list evil practices of depraved people, and disrespect for parents is on both lists. 1 Timothy 5, 3 through 4 and 8 explains the duty of children to care for the needs of their parents. And in Matthew 15, 1 through 9, Christ rebukes the Pharisees for encouraging people to prioritize the church above their parents. He refers to this as cursing parents, using the Old Testament command. And that lets us know that cursing parents is not simply about words, but it's about how we treat them. And Jesus ends with this strong statement: "These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are merely human rules." If we dishonor our parents, we dishonor God, and we bring damage to our souls. Let us remember that it's very important to God. And I encourage you, if you benefited from this devotion, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks.